There is something wrong with the Earth. We have too much to lose as civilization progresses without regard to geo-environmental change. Will you help us protect the world that we live in? This is the proposition of Trim Corporation Limited. On the Earth that we live on, there are many problems that we have on our hands. Global warming, air pollution, destruction of the ozone layer, the contamination of seawater, and the heat island phenomenon. The garbage issue is an especially alarming matter. The illegal dumping of garbage prevails all over the country, and the environmental pollution it produces troubles Japan. As part of this trend, some approaches for environmental improvements have been developed. The importance of recycling is growing. However, among these, recycling glass bottles in particular has been falling behind. The amount of that being recycled is 350,000 tons. The recycling rate of glass bottles has halted before 40%. Why has recycling glass bottles been delayed in this area? There are two ways to recycle glass bottles. One is the returnable system, which reuses the used glass bottles repeatedly. The other is the one-way system, which uses the raw materials of new glass after smashing them to pieces. Both ways cost time, effort, and money. Even today, at repository sites, glass bottles are still separated by hand. Among those are broken bottles to be handled with risks. A major stumbling block in the garbage issue is the recycling of glass bottles. Are we actually able to recycle these glass bottles? This was the matter that became the starting point for the recycling business of Trim Corporation Limited. In 1995, a project team to recycle glass bottles was formed. In 1996, the cullet production machine was developed. We won the top prize at the Industrials Festival in Okinawa. We invested and studied even more to enhance the system. In 1998, a model plant at Yaise Town in Okinawa was built. In the next year of 1999, the creation of this lightweight material Supersol was started. Then the recycling business of Trim Corporation Limited was fully put into action. In a variety of areas, a huge demand of Supersol was born. The recycling mill of unused resources on Trim Corporation Limited can produce this material Supersol, which is completely different from the shape and features of glass, although made from glass bottles. The recycled glass bottles used at this mill are the same waste collected bottles from the community. Regardless of color, size, and shape, you only have to throw the glass bottles into the machine. Then the Supersol is automatically produced. Now, let's look at the process of this production in detail. First of all, the glass bottles are thrown into stock in the raw material hopper, then moves automatically on the line. Then they are smashed to very small pieces by the shredding equipment machinery. Though it is compact glass, even said to be harder than iron, they are pressed into small pieces. The small pieces are routed to the cullet machine. On this pressing machine, the glass is crushed into a very soft flour-like powder. It is hard to even think it was glass. The powdered glass is then moved to the vibrating sifting machine to specifically select only the finest powder. Next, the glass powder is placed into the mixing equipment. The glass powder is automatically mixed with only 1% additive material. Evenly mixing and sifting the glass powder and add-in material, this process can finally produce Supersol with consistency and quality. Finally, the glass powder is transferred to the burning furnace to be reborn into Supersol. It is burned continuously by the conveyor mesh. The temperature of the firing furnace can be adjusted so that the process is completed with high-quality detail and care. By following this process, the foamed and inflated powder is drastically cooled down by coming in contact with the air and is broken up into smaller sizes. The Supersol can be created to suit various needs because there is a lot of flexibility in the creation process, such as specifying gravity, the intake rate, and so on. This is how Supersol is created. Glass bottles have been reborn into a different shape and behavior, a completely new product. With the highly valued add-on features, Supersol is in high demand for various areas. Now we will introduce the special features of Supersol. One of the big features of Supersol is porosity. It is very useful for various areas, such as tree planting or civil engineering work, because of the feature with breathability, drainage performance, and water retentivity. And it is also said to be an inorganic mineral. It can be used in harsh conditions because of its high resistance to temperature, water, and chemicals. And the most peculiar point is its weight. It's very light. It is light enough to float on water, so it can be changed to match a specific gravity by changing the intake rate and the size, complete control to match the product for its use. Above all, it is an earth-friendly material. Supersol is often used together with soil or as a rate filter material, so it can be completely recycled from soil to soil. There is a growing need for Supersol around Japan because of these features. In civil engineering work, it is used in a variety of ways in material construction, the backfilling of retaining road walls, and in gravel trenches, taking advantage of its lightweight and drainage performance features. The performance statistics and construction results are expanding nationwide, already foreseeing an increase in demand of more product. Let's look at an example of it being used in construction areas. It is easy to use in construction because of its lightweight features. It can simply be mixed with soil to become a non-pressure weight against any man-made walls. Adequate strength can be adjusted by paving Supersol through a basic surface compaction and soil tampering. It also draws attention by being used as a material in tree planting. Porosity as a feature of Supersol keeps the balance of fluid or air in the soil for plants. Therefore, it is used as the material for planting trees in many fields. In such cases of using Supersol in planting work, it is mainly used as a soil conditioner. In this park, the planting work with Supersol and oxygen tubes took place. After lining a hole for planting with Supersol, oxygen tubes can be plowed in. This oxygen tube that includes the Supersol can make the aeration property of plants better. Supersol is very useful in even planting trees on the rooftops. The Supersol construction method reduces the burden and makes planting work very easy. That is why significant cost cutting can take place. It is also used as the aggregate for heat insulating blocks. The Supersol SunGuard is an excellent material for heat insulation. By simply placing it on the roof, the room temperature is lowered. Supersol is also used for large-size green planting indoors. In the grass establishment of this resort hotel, it is put in place as a new system without soil. A mix of brick stone and Supersol is used instead of soil. It is easier to manage plants and building to use this than by using soil, as well as keeps the room cleaner by lowering the risk of fungus and contamination. There are many other various forms of use. The plantations in hospitals or schools, the use in material for farming soil amendments or water quality clarification, on sale as garden material in do-it-yourself stores, and much more. This resort hotel uses the EM glass stone, which introduced the EM technique to Supersol. A variety of plants, like vegetables, are being cropped in the garden on the roof. In this way, we can see many examples of the highly valued material Supersol. It is expected to also be used in water clarification of sea and river or bank protection projects in the near future. Trim Corporation Limited will constantly brainstorm and work aggressively to raise the demand for their product. It's just waste if you throw it away, but it's a new resource if you recycle it. They use the recyclable resources that were once considered wasted goods. The manufacturing plants of Supersol are put in places all throughout Japan, recycling the glass bottles in its area. Supersol, a certified recycling system in many areas, draws attention to its production in their idea to balance recycling with business. The wasted glass bottles in the area are supposed to be used in various areas after recycling. Trim is keen on setting up a recycle system that involves the community. The formulation of a cooperative recycle system involving the community. It is a large step to take in order to protect you and your living environment. Trim Corporation Limited.